See, Karl Marx, I talked about primitive communism, slavery, feudalism, capitalism and socialism, then communism. And when we are talking about class struggle, each stage is driven by class struggle between dominant and dependent groups. Okay, dominant and dependent groups. Okay, so and he talked about base and superstructure. What is this concept of base and superstructure is? What did Karl Marx say? Karl Marx said that material conditions are primary. Based on material conditions only social change happens, everything. So Karl Marx said that in every stage also, in every stage, whether it might be primitive communism, slavery, who is owning the economy? Based on that, who is based on that economic aspect, other issues is depending. Means nothing but other issues means if masters are owning the land, other factors are also dependent on that. Means economic base is acting, economy is acting as a base. Based on that superstructure is there. Based on that superstructure is there means in Indian context I will say, if Brahmins are owners of the land, Brahmins are powerful, that will be the base, the superstructure. Because of that Brahmins are superior. Because of that Brahmins will live in the center of the city. Brahmins are superior. Brahmins are economically powerful. Because of that, they are living in the center of the city. They will be the politicians. They will be close to the God. They will control religion. They will control political power. They will control village. Everything is controlled by them. So, base structure, economy is determining the superstructure. Superstructure means family, marriage, anything is dependent on economic factors. You understand my point? That is the reason why you see, let me give you an example. Ambanis are rich. So, base is, Karl Marx is saying that base determines superstructure. Base is economy. Ambanis are powerful people. So, economy is determining all these people. So, that is the reason why you see, when Ambanis are getting married, when there is a marriage in Ambani, all the media is only focusing on them because superstructure, base is determining superstructure. Means media is also influenced by economy. If Anant Ambani is celebrating a birthday, media, social media, celebrities, everyone is wishing him. Ambanis want to visit temple. There will be a special darshanam for them. So, economy is influencing every other aspects in the society. That is what I am saying. No, Karl Marx only talked about economy as a factor. That is the reason why when we go into details of the subject, the theory of Karl Marx is called as an economic deterministic theory. Means nothing but he is determining society. He is understanding society only through the lens of economy. Karl Marx Indian society ni ardham chesukovali anna economic based. Karl Marx want to understand European society, economy. Karl Marx want to understand family. He will decide economy. Karl Marx will say that in rich family the relations are different by economic. In poor family relations are different. In rich family women are not allowed to work. In poor family women are forced to work. You understand my point? In rich family, women are not allowed to work. In poor family, women are forced to work. Okay, so education is influenced by economic conditions. Political power is influenced by economic conditions. That is what he is trying to say. Base and superstructure model. Base is economic base. This is superstructure. See, productive forces, land, labor, technology, productive relations. Productive relation is who is the owner, who is the dependent. This productive forces and productive relations, this is what we call as a mode of production. Okay. See, just ila gurtu pettukondi. Productive forces means land, labor, capital. That is what we call as a productive forces. If land, labor and capital is in the control of owner, what will be the productive relations? They will be the owner. Laborers will become the dependent. So, productive forces is land, labor, capital, assets, property. Productive relations means owner versus employee, master versus slave. productive forces is master is owning the land. That is productive force. Productive relation is master versus slave. You understand my point? Land, capital, property, anything, assets, money. This is productive forces. If Brahmins are owning land, what will be the productive relations in the village? If for suppose Brahmins are owning the land, so productive force is with Brahmin. As productive force is Brahmin, productive relation will be Brahmins are superior and other people are inferior. If capital is with Ambanis, productive force, productive relation is Ambanis are owners. Productive relation will be Ambanis are owners and employers are. So he looked into these productive forces and productive relations. Productive forces define productive relations and this form the base, and this economic base is influencing superstructure. Political institutions is influenced by economic structure. That is the reason why, let me give you very interesting example. I hope you will understand. Inta kashtapaddanu kabatti you have to appreciate this point. You know, recently in December, before November, the government of India has reduced GST. GST revives చేసింది తెలుసు కదా. GST recently government of India has revived GST. So reduced GST rate for certain products. Now tell me, why do you think that government of India have reduced the GST? Online students, you have to answer this question. Why do you think that government of India has reduced GST rates? Let me tell you, why do you think that? In India, nowhere in the world, people focus on savings. India is the only country we focus on savings. So మనకి ఏంది అంటే డబ్బులు ఎంత వస్తే ఖర్చు పెట్టడం కాకుండా దాచిపెట్టుకోవడం ఇంపార్టెంట్. We will focus on savings. Now what happened in India is, people have money but people are not spending. If people are not spending, what happens is consumption will not be driven. When there is no consumption, when demand will be reduced. If demand is reduced, who will be sufferer? Industrialist. So government of India, Karl Marx, see, it will be recorded in YouTube. Okay, so Karl Marx said that if government of India is not reducing GST because of the welfare of the people, but who is controlling economy? Industrialists are controlling economy. Their demand is coming down, means nothing but their profits are coming down. Industrialists said that you have to reduce GST, then only demand will happen, my production will increase. So politics is shaped by whom? Industrialists. Base is what? Economy. Superstructure is shaped by economic base. Simple, interesting. So this is how Karl Marx said, economic base will define everything. Tomorrow, if you are working in an industry, your father worked in an industry, your father will come and say that my owner is good, that is the reason why we are eating food. But actually your father's owner is not good. Your father's owner is exploiting your father. Surplus value, remember. When your father is saying that you have to do good, automatically tomorrow you will also become an obedient worker. So economy is also shaping family. Understood that? Economy is base. Superstructure is being shaped by base. Okay. So this has been talked by Karl Marx. Okay, so class struggle and alienations. Alienation is worker lose control over everything, the content of their work. As I said, no, what to produce, they are not concerned, they are not asked, they are only said that you go, you stand and you do this. Why I am doing this, we are not answerable. If you want money, you do this. They lost the control over their content of their work, the product they create, the relations with others, the connection with nature. You understand my point? That is what is alienation. Okay. Emile Durkheim. Now, first, what did we understand? When we are talking about Emile Durkheim, Emile Durkheim is one sociologist. As I said, no, even many books did not emphasize on this point. Why sociology of Durkheim is called as sociology of hope. Why it is called as an sociology of hope? Why? Because Emile Durkheim is one sociologist who always want to look into stability of the society. He wants society to be stable. If society is not stable, what happens? Chaos will happen, no? That is the reason why Durkheim is one sociologist who always says that his main question in his sociology, if in one line, what did Durkheim as a sociologist, as a scholar focused on? His one question is, what are the factors which contribute to holding society together? How will, what, his question is only that, how societies, you see, primary question and main question is, what holds society together? When will society be united? When can we say that society is united? What factors lead to unity of society? Okay, in rural society, why society was united? In urban society, why society is not united? If society is not united, what should be done? Why crime rate is increasing? What to do? If crime rate is increasing, what to do? What are the measures to take? Why contemporary society, in the present society, why we see chaos is increasing? Why we see inequalities are increasing? Why we see conflicts are increasing? How to address that? For all these solutions, for all these problems, he gave the solutions. That is the reason why Durkheim sociology is a sociology of hope. Okay, you know Shawshank Redemption. Have you seen that movie, Shawshank Redemption? Or do you know Morgan Freeman? You don't know Morgan Freeman. So Emile Durkheim is like Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman is judangne, you will see that positivity. Okay, like you don't know him, but anyways. So Durkheim sociology is, if there is one society, how to bring the solidarity in that society. If that society is not maintaining solidarity, what to do? So his focus is on that. How to make sure that a society is stable. If society is changing, how to bring that order. If society is deviating, how to bring that order. That is the reason why I said no. Anomy, when social regulations were losing control, modernity, because of modernity, before modernity, church was holding society together, but control of church declined, means society fragmented. So Durkheim became very conscious that in modernity society is becoming chaos, we are turning into chaos. How to bring that solidarity? He said that to bring society back on the track, he said that he was a school teacher. He was also a school teacher. You know, in in Durkheim, he trained teachers. He trained teachers to teach efficiently. He was a trainer of a teachers. So his primary concern is, if society is going into chaos, what we have to do? He said that society is going into chaos. You have to promote value-based education. Morals should be promoted. Once morals are promoted, then automatically society will come to order. If society is turning into chaos, responsible citizens should be promoted. And that is the reason why, you know, Durkheim talked about religion. In Durkheim theory of religion is very much important. Theory of religion. Why did he study theory of religion? Is he want to understand, in simple societies, religion was holding society together. In complex religion, why religion was not able to hold together? Why in complex religion, people are fighting amongst themselves in the name of religion? You know, when people are fighting in the name of religion, Durkheim gave a concept of civil religion. Civil religion means people should not believe in only religion which is based on sacred. What is sacred? God, not. He gave a concept of civil religion. Society to be united. As I said, no, his only factor is society to be united. Society to be united, you have to develop civil religion. Civil religion means everyone should follow their religion, but everyone should try to develop a new religion, that is respecting national flag, national anthem, country. When everyone is questioning, respecting national flag, national anthem and country, conflict will happen in society? You understand my point? When children are giving value-based education, will children become criminals? If professionals are becoming, means work, if in workers, means professional workers are entering into corruption, nepotism, what Durkheim said that to address this nepotism, corruption, what we have to do is, in professional field, you have to promote professional ethics. So this is how present society lo unna problems annitiki solution avaricharu ante Durkheim. That is the reason why Durkheim sociology is sociology of hope. This is a brief story. This is the essence of Durkheim. Adi ela chesaru ante this. He focused on social facts. He focused on division of labor. He focused on anomy. His theory focused on majorly solidarity and collective consciousness. These are the core concepts, but these are his emphasis. He said that society will be stable when society is developing solidarity. Solidarity means unity. People are thinking that they are one. Okay, and people are developing collective consciousness. Collective consciousness is we are one. When everyone is developing civil religion, don't you think you will think that we are one? If you are thinking on only your own religion lines, you will fight on the basis of religion. But when a new religion develops, that is what we call as a civil religion, then automatically collective consciousness develops. Okay, so this is how he talked about religion. Now, what is this social fact? Social fact is, this is his methodology. Social fact is his methodology. It is not his core outcome of his theory. Methodology enti ante, what did I say? Durkheim Emile Durkheim is that sociologist Do you have any doubt? ఇప్పటికి గుర్తు ఉండిపోయింది. Emile Durkheim is positivist. What does positivist say? Sociology is natural science, and they said that they will give importance to objectivity and they will give importance to what? They will give importance to society. They will emphasize on society, and they said that society shapes simple society or social structure. Society or social structure. You want to enter classroom, who in which you want to enter this classroom, in whichever direction you can enter this classroom? No. The social structure is saying that this is the door, you come from here. So individual behavior is shaped by society. Means this classroom is external to individual, but the behavior of individual is shaped by this classroom. That is what we call as a social fact. Social fact means something which is external to individual, which is shaping the behavior of individual. Simple. మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను చూడండి. Social fact which is something external to the individual, that is society, that is shaping the behavior of individual. Just now I said you want to enter into classroom. Okay, from where you will come? You will only come from the door. So structure is saying that you can only enter through door. So individual is only behaving in this way. Otherwise, I'll say to understand social fact, I'll give a very interesting example. Imagine a room and I took you to this room and I said that, okay, I'm explaining social fact. I said that I took you to the room and I said that I really respect you, I really love you, okay, I really like you. So what I am giving you the gift is you can do anything you want, but you have to be in this room. Means what I am trying to say is you can do anything, but you have to be in the room. Means nothing but this room is shaping your behavior. It is not you shaping this behavior. That is being talked by Durkheim. As I said, no. Society is shaping individual means society is influencing individual behavior. That is the reason why I said you want to become an IAS officer. Actually, it is not your individual decision. It is your parents. Means again society. So decision is moving away from individual means nothing but decision is going to society. Either it might be your caste, either it might be your religion, either it might be your father, either it might be your family background, either it might be your grandparents. You think it is your decision, but it is not your decision. It is societal prescription. Society's doctor will say no. You go to a doctor. Doctor, I am suffering with cough and cold. Doctor will give medicine. That is a prescription. You are following the decision of doctor. On the same lines, Durkheim is also saying that it is not individual shaping society. Society shaping individual. He says that this society is external. It is like a moon. We know that moon exists. People in India see moon. People in America see moon. People in all over the world see moon, which is external. On the same line, individual, every individual sees society, that is external, and that is shaping the behavior of individual. So this is the concept of social fact. Now you will understand what is social fact. Social fact are collective phenomena. Now try to understand Durkheim social fact and suicide study. Social facts are collective phenomena external to individual. Are you following? Now you understood. First try to understand what is social fact. Social fact is a collective phenomena which is external to individual. Society is a collective phenomena which is external to individual, yet constraining individual behavior. Yet constraining individual behavior means it is influencing individual behavior. You said that in the classroom you can do whatever you want. I cannot do. I want to go out of the room. No. The walls are saying that you cannot go outside. You can do whatever you want. Means nothing but your behavior is shaped by whom? These walls. Now think that these walls are nothing but society. These walls are nothing but customs. You know, many times you listen in the family. This conversation generally happen. Father will say that, you know, You are my daughter. You are equal to son. I'll also make you study. So go and study engineering. But when son comes, I want to do doctor. Okay, you can do. Are you understanding the notion? So father is saying that you can study whatever you want. Go and study engineering. But when it comes to son, it is he can study anything. When it comes to woman, society is prescribing what to do. Society is prescribing what to wear. Society is prescribing what not to wear. If you are with husband, you can wear whatever outfit. Without husband, you cannot wear outfit. Who is prescribing your norms? Society is prescribing. So that is what I am saying. Social facts are connective phenomena external to individual, yet constraining individual behavior, influencing individual behavior. So society is shaping individual. That is what is social fact. On the same lines, now you understood what is social fact. So the core characteristics of social fact is external, constraining, and general. External means social facts are external to individual. Constraining is influencing individual. Individual cannot do anything without society. General means they are applicable to everyone. I am also constrained by social fact. Why I selected teaching profession? If a teacher comes to you and say that I am teaching out of passion, okay, don't believe that teacher. Because the teacher is influenced, because the teacher who is standing in front of you saying that teacher is teaching out of passion, but actually the teacher is teaching out of passion because the teacher did not clear UPSC. UPSC clear. If at all I cleared UPSC, why would I stand in front of you and teach? Okay, so it is external. So whenever you want to do any occupation also, it is external. So someone will say, no, I love this job. Actually, he don't love this job. He love this job because of the money which is offered. Money offered. So society is saying, for money there is respect. So nor muskani pan chesko. He is not doing it for love for profession. He is doing for the love for money. Money is nothing but societal influence. If society is not giving importance to money, he would not. I am saying, tomorrow you make this currency devalue. No one will start working. They will do different occupations. People are 99% of the people. But Karl Marx will say 100% of the people. But I am saying 99% of the people are working for money. Money means society. Society is saying that for money there is value. Okay. So general, it is applicable to everyone. Through this concept of social fact only, he gave the theory of suicide. Generally, in psychology, what happens is people commit suicide because of individual reasons. But when we are talking about Durkheim theory, no action is individual. It is influenced by suicide. He said that suicide is external to individual. Means society is determining suicide. And he proved. He said that in some countries, suicide rate is less. In some countries, suicide rate is more. If suicide is individual, in India also, there should be same number of suicides. In America also, there should be same number of suicides. In South Korea also, there should be same number of suicides. But India, suicide rate is less. America, suicide rate is more. Means, what is the difference? Society is influencing. And he used this concept of social fact to discuss the theory of suicide. He did not talk about suicide. He talked about rate of suicide. Means rate of suicide means percentage of people committing suicide. Suicide at the end of the day is individually. Means like for me, my first love fail aindi. Okay. People commit suicide. Okay. I am married. Nakem fail gale. Okay. I love only my wife. Adi vere vishayam. Okay. So, tavanni marchipovali pelli tarvata. But I am saying when you are talking about suicide, reason might be personal, but the rate is influenced by society. You understood how intellectually he is talking about society shaping individual. Why sociology became prominent of all the disciplines? Because of this theory of suicide, because of this concept of Durkheim. everyone question, no, why there is need for sociology? A so-called so much personal issue which is influenced, sometimes of 100% of suicides, nearly 70 to 80% of the suicides, you never know what might be the reason. So much personal issue called suicide, so much psychological issue, so much what you say random issue, you cannot find patterns. In such a suicide concept also, Durkheim figured out patterns. So this is how he built the foundations for sociology. As I said, no, the coined by Agascom, but conceptualized, discipline developed by Durkheim. So this is how Durkheim said that he did not, I am saying no, he also did not focus on suicide, he focused on rate and the number of people committing suicide. If you ask individual also, Durkheim ken telsu India lo enduku suicide cheskuntunnaro, but he knows that percentage, and he said that based on the types of societies, based on the social integration and social regulation which is followed in the society, suicide rate will happen. Means nothing but if society is so much integrated and balanced, there is a proper balance between integration and regulation. Means integration and regulation means in a family, parents are taking care of the children, parents are seeing how students are getting marks, how he is, with whom he is talking, then percentage of suicide will be less. If there is so much integration, means nothing but parents are asking everything, phone వచ్చింది, ఎవరితో మాట్లాడినావు, ఎందుకు చెప్పాలి, ఎవరితో మాట్లాడినావు, ఏం మాట్లాడినావు, okay. So when there is so much of integration, suicide rate will be more. When there is so much of regulation also, suicide rate is more. When there is no regulation, suicide rate will be more, because my parents are not concerned about me. You understand my point? So through this concept of social integration and social regulation, he gave a theoretical model to the rate of suicide. So Durkheim proved to the world so-called so much personal issue of suicide, which is highly individualistic action. Through this individualistic action also, through finding the patterns for the rate of suicide, he gave the model that how rate of suicide in one country differs with other country, and it is objective because suicide is a rate of suicide is everywhere. In one country it is high, one country it is low. That is how we see Durkheim sociology. You see, egoistic society, low social integration, altruistic society, excessive integration. Altruistic society means when there is so much integration. So much integration means when society is so much integrated, why people will commit suicide? Means when you love your nation so much high integration. When country is saying that you do sacrifice, they will go and do sacrifice. Why do you think soldiers, when they are dying on the battlefield, they are never sad, they are happy, because they are sacrificing their life for the motherland. That is high integration. You understand my point? Low integration is, this country is not concerned about me, I'll kill myself. High integration is, I am more concerned about this country, I am ready to give my life. No need to worry, these concepts were later criticized. And see, Durkheim, soldiers dying in the battlefield also been considered as suicide. That is not suicide, no, but his theory he considered. Okay, I am not saying there are limitations, we will talk about limitation, that is what I am saying, no. So Durkheim's study of suicide, egoistic suicide, when there is low integration. Low integration means people are not integrated. For suppose there is I'll give you a low integration example. High integration, you understood? High integration, soldiers. Low integration is, I'll give you this example, simple. Diwali. On the day of Diwali, everyone is firing crackers. I studied UPSC and I studied about pollution. So my heart is not accepting to burn crackers, but everyone is enjoying. When చూడండి లో ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఏంది అంటే, when I went and give the lecture to the people who are burning crackers, they said that you are not mental, నువ్వు క్రాక్ పో అదంటే చూడు, నువ్వు పిచ్చోని పక్కకు పోవాలి. ఓకే, సో when I am giving saying that you should not burn crackers, people are ignoring me, people are isolating me. So when people are isolating me, my own society is isolating. Low integration, then I will commit suicide. That is the reason why Durkheim said that highly educated people, sometimes you know, people with high PhDs, double PhDs, triple PhDs, highly educated people also commit suicide. That suicide is called as a low integration. That is what? When you are too much studied, you are not being given importance. You are isolated. So low integration, excessive integration, anomic suicide means lack of moral regulation. Lack of moral regulation is suddenly simple point. Anomic suicide means you are a family of there would be some family, they are four or five members in car accident. Unfortunately, that person lost his wife and children. Suddenly his family collapsed in front of his eyes. Now don't you think he will find there is no purpose that I should live? Then he will commit suicide. That is lack of moral regulation and excessive regulation. Excessive regulation means too much of control. In prison, wherever you go, there will be CC camera. Then prison, people will think that what is the purpose of my life? I will commit suicide. So this is how types of suicide is not that much concerned, but how he talked about suicide, that is very important. You understood this point? Okay, so these are the theories of Durkheim. Okay, and Durkheim talked about mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. What is this mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity is? I'll explain you this mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. In villages, you have mechanical solidarity. I'll explain you in a simple way. Then I'll show you the presentation. Mechanical solidarity versus organic solidarity. Now, you only answer me this question. In Indian society, you know, India is known for unity in diversity. In India, we have unity. In West Asia, when all the countries are following one religion, do you see in West Asia unity? In West Asia, do you see unity? When India in India there are so many religions. In West Asia there is only one religion. When there is only one religion, you don't see unity. But in India, when there are so many religions, still people are keeping away their differences, are united. Why do you see that difference? Because in India we have organic solidarity. Organic solidarity means, I'll try to explain you. Organic solidarity, mechanical solidarity. If you are treating someone equally because Constitution said that, that is mechanical solidarity. If you are treating someone, you think that he is also my fellow citizen. He is also as much as Indian I am. He have so many rights. Even I have those many rights. You understand my point? When you think on that lines, that is organic solidarity. Organic solidarity means amidst differences, you develop unity. Pluralistic society will develop organic solidarity. When only when that society is been just what you say, because there is a constitution, if at all I question him, that constitution will punish me. There is a police person, if at all I do any crime, then I will be punished. That fear of loss is uniting the country. That is mechanical solidarity. Organically, people are being united. That is what we call as an organic solidarity. So, Durkheim said that initially in rural areas, there was mechanical solidarity. Mechanical solidarity is, in rural what happened was, village koka rules untunde. You know, like in Virupaksha movie, when for that village, demon enters, okay, Dayam Batinapudu, village ki. Virupaksha movie, what they will say that all the villagers should not go outside that village. Okay, then all the villagers abided by it. That is mechanical solidarity. So, when village is saying that these are the rules of the village, you should not marry from other caste. For the fear of that village might isolate me. If you are abiding by that laws, that is mechanical solidarity. Village might boycott me if at all I marry women from upper caste. Village might boycott me if at all I am doing friendship with upper caste. That is mechanical solidarity. Organic solidarity is village removing this caste discrimination. Everyone united. That is organic solidarity. So, Durkheim said that when society was moving from simple societies to complex societies, in simple society, mechanical solidarity was there because everyone was thinking like-minded. You understand? Everyone thought process was same. But when you go to complex society, in rural areas, in simple societies, everyone was doing agriculture. Everyone was living happily. Everyone was cultivating and eating. Automatically, what happens? Mechanical solidarity emerged. But now, when we go to urban areas, one person is a plumber, one person is a doctor, other one is scientist. So people are doing different occupations. There is so much of complexity. When will this society be united? As I said, no. The core concept of Durkheim is how to unite society. So Durkheim said that all these occupation people will only be united if everyone is doing one job, one law will unite everyone. When people are doing different jobs, when they will be united? When they form organic solidarity. Means I give importance to other profession will give importance to my profession. When will, for suppose today there was a lawyer who came for to take admission to his daughter. Okay, that person, that although he is very senior lawyer, he is giving respect to me because he knows that he cannot teach civil services. He can motivate his daughter for civil services. He cannot teach civil services. The role of civil services teaching is my responsibility. He is respecting me. I am also respecting his profession. Automatically, don't you think organic solidarity develops? Means I doing my professional ethics properly, he doing his professional ethics properly. So Durkheim said that in a society where corruption is there, organic solidarity will not be emerged. Society will go into chaos. So this is how he talked about mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. Through this concept only, he explained about division of labor. In simple society, there will be simple division of labor. In complex society, there will be complex division of labor. This complex division of labor will only help in proper society when labor is following ethics. When I am following my profession properly, when I am disciplined, when I am hardworking, when society is giving importance to my hard work, when I am getting success, then only organic solidarity emerges. Once organic solidarity emerges, although there is complex division of labor also, society will be united. You understand my point? That is what we talked about, simple mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. Again, I am explaining. Mechanical solidarity is simple society have only one law. But when it comes to complex society, there are many professions. When will this profession stay united? How to bring solidarity? When everyone is giving respect to other professions. That is the reason why you see I'll give you an example to understand this. Nowadays, you know, earlier before Uber, Ola, all these things came and food delivery came. You know, when you want something, you would ask your helpers, domestic helpers, to go and fetch. Now, Uber, Ola, number of percentage of people have increased. You are not calling them driver, you are calling them as brother, and you are not calling them as in singular, you are calling them as plural word. You are not calling them Ra, Po, you are Randi, Vellandi. Ardhamunda. That is nothing but you are giving respect to that profession. You understand my point? So that itself is saying that you might be a doctor, but you are giving respect to that profession. That is nothing but organic solidarity. When you respect the dignity of labor, when you respect that every profession is important, when you respect that, automatically society, how much ever complex society it might be, unity emerge avutunda leda. But if you don't give respect to some profession, for some, I'll give this example a lot. This is also a meme, a video which has become viral. You know, there was an IAS officer called Amrapali Madam Unnar. IAS Amrapali Madam Unnar. Amrapali Madam, GHMC, when she was a GHMC commissioner, you know, in a meeting, one person was said that, sir, madam, this people who come to collect garbage, they are not coming regularly. You know, she was a GHMC commissioner. Her answer is very surprising. She laughed and said that, I am the GHMC commissioner, even to my house, once or twice they would miss. Means nothing but a person who is in high position, even she need the work and she need the coordination of the people who are working in lower levels. When will society be united? When will society be stable? Smooth functioning of society is irrespective of the position. Everyone have to work efficiently. Amrapali madame మా ఇంటికి కూడా చెత్త తీసుకోవడానికి రావట్లేదు అంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి అంటే people are not fulfilling their responsibility properly. Imagine when people with that position are facing problem. Imagine the fate of the people in lower levels. So that is the reason why Durkheim said that organic solidarity, division of labor ఎలా ఉండాలి అంటే division of labor should be proper such that society should be functioning properly. Mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity should be promoted. So in simple societies there was mechanical solidarity, but in complex society we need organic solidarity. When organic solidarity is promoted, then only society will be stable. Adhe chudandi, if in India we have mechanical solidarity, means nothing but if Hindus are only abiding by the laws of Hindu religion, Muslims are only abiding by the laws of Islamic traditions. Now don't you think automatically organic solidarity will never develop? But you know, in India, when this Ganpati Visarjan was happening in Hyderabad, you see Muslims are offering water. When namaz, during Ramzan, namaz prayer were happening, these Hindu places were opened for worship, doing namaz. That is what is organic solidarity. Now you understood? So mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity. Pre and simple society, you have mechanical solidarity. Division of labor is low. Division of labor is high. What is division of labor? Why there is division of labor is low? Because everyone will be doing, in simple society, everyone was doing agriculture. But in complex society, okay, in organic solidarity, when division of labor are high, there are highly specialized people. But every specialization needs important. You cannot say that doctors are more important. You cannot say that scientists are less important. You cannot say teachers are less important. That is what I said. No, lawyer came for joining his daughter. Lawyer knows the importance of teacher. Teacher knows the importance of lawyer. So basis of cohesion, how the unity is developed. Similarity of beliefs, religions and customs. They follow similar beliefs. In village, all follow village traditions. But basis of cohesion is interdependence among specialists. That is what lawyer depend on doctor, doctor depend on all these things. Interdependence is there. collective consciousness very strong. Collective consciousness means oneness weak, but people should develop more later through organic solidarity. You understand my point? Next, law type. Law type, if someone is questioning the village, someone is marrying against the village norms, repressive punishment untadi. Law type means in organic solidarity you do not punish directly, you say that this is not correct, you try to reform. You understood? So example rural village communities, example urban city. So now you understood what is this. Okay, so today we will end this. So we discussed briefly, first we'll discuss about Durkheim. First, Durkheim talked about social facts. You understood what is social facts? External division of labor. In mechanical society, you have simple division of labor. In organic solidarity, you have complex division of labor. Anomy means lack of regulations, norms. Earlier, as I said, no, in simple society, there are high norms. But when you go to complex societies, norms will be reduced. That is the reason why anomy increases. Solidarity. Mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity, collective consciousness. So this is how we discussed. So in today's class, first we discussed about social structure. Today's class is very important. Today's class is loaded with concepts. Social structure we discussed, social stratification discussed, social process we discussed. Social structure is nothing but how society is organized through individual interactions. This organization sometimes lead to stratification because there is a layering. This layering is leading to different of life chances. Then we talked about this social structure and social stratification is leading to social process, that is cooperation, conflict and competition. Then we talked about Karl Marx. Then we talked about Durkheim. In Karl Marx we talked about dialects. He said that society or history changes through changing ideas. Karl Marx talked about 6 societies. These societies are changing through changing of materials conditions in that society. In primitive communism, material conditions were different. In primitive communism, next slavery, material conditions were different. So primitive communism is to change to slavery because of changing material conditions. This changing material conditions, society changing through material conditions is called as an dialectical materialism. This is nothing but dialectical materialism and historical materialism antar. Okay. Next we talked about class struggle. Within this change is also happening through class struggle between proletariats versus bourgeoisie, slaves versus masters, serfs versus masters. Okay. Next we talked about alienation. Next we talked about this we discussed about Karl Marx. Overall, Karl Marx was talking about oppression and exploitation. In Durkheim we talked about, first Durkheim was a positivist and he emphasized on society. Next he emphasized on he emphasized on social fact. Then he focused on social fact, so solidarity, collective consciousness, and overall the concept, the crux of Durkheim is what are the factors which will hold society together. Same Fevicol ad గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, అర్థమైందా? సో Durkheim is talking about that Fevicol, a glue. He want that glue to unite the society. See, there is no wrong. There is no wrong. At the end of the day, we want conceptual clarity. We should not shy away from remembering. At the end of the day, no one will look how you remember this. No one will look. Only people will look how simply you understood it. ఎంత సింప్లిఫై చేసాం కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అనేది ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, చలో, థ్యాంక్ యూ.